Yobachi 2007 back at you with another one. We looked at a video the other day. We saw a clip of this lady in the video about Tia Mowry and how she's complaining about the dating market and how she wants to find a man to build with in the street after leaving her husband who had already built a home and a family with her. Make that make sense. And we also saw a video recently that we showed about Jada Pinkett and how she is talking about how her and Will have been separated for 7 years, even though they were pretending to still be together. And I talked about some things about how she's alpha widowed by Tupac and how she even is so open about it that her 13-year-old daughter was writing letters to dead Tupac, telling him to come back to save or to make her mom happy. We're going to get into the latest humiliations that Jada Pinkett Smith is bringing on to Will. But we want to look at some of these other separatees, divorcees who divorced their husbands and how they're talking about it and just get some points about how women so easily discard men. But then they're either real lonely afterwards or they're so happy to get rid of them. It's one of these two extremes. But let's look at a couple of different examples.
I just try to listen to something uplifting, like, while I'm at work, because the job that I have, like, I can listen to music, like, while I'm working. So sometimes I'll listen to podcasts or, like, books or stuff like that on, like, audio. But, like, that kind of helped to get me out of that really, like, angry mindset. And then also, too, like, what helped me was just trying to think of the things that, like, I'm grateful for in my life, and just whenever I get home, trying to, like, meditate and, like, pray and write my journal, like, that really helped me get kind of past that and kind of think about why I'm angry, so I can kind of, like, work through that emotion.
So we're hearing about the different stages of grief from this woman. When we played this in the Tia Mowry video, she talked about being lonely. Now she's talking about how she's working through her anger after throwing away her husband. We're going to get more into her comments, but we'll take a break here to go ahead and hit the like button. If you hit the like button, it'll really help me out, help me to continue to grow this channel, and I really appreciate that. So if you hit the like button, we're going to get right back to it for another little clip of her.
So yeah, I faced anger last week, and not only last week, but since I posted that life update, like, I've faced anger so many different times. And that's kind of like my way that I cope with it. But you kind of have to let yourself be angry. If you try to suppress it, which I think that's another reason why I got so angry last week, because, like, I've tried to suppress my anger. It makes it that much worse, and then it's almost like you can't handle anything, you just explode. I mean, that kind of goes along with saying with being very upset. Last week I also was very emotionally, like, upset. Like, I was just, especially last Thursday, like, I was just crying a lot, and I posted on Instagram that I was just going through, like, a lot of different things, and that's why I didn't get my video up on Friday. But yeah, I just face sadness so much, and there are just times where I feel so depressed. Like, I feel so alone in everything that I'm dealing with, even though I know I'm not alone. It's like,
so they get rid of their husbands, then they get angry, depressed, and whine and moan about being lonely. Great plan, ladies. They want to return out here to the dating market to go in these streets to find a man to build with after tearing down their home and leaving their husband who has already built with them. Now let's hear from this woman. She's some kind of dating coach or life coach, and she's come to some great revelation, she thinks. But the first part of it is kind of an interesting point. And I want you to keep in mind what she says here about women and basically how she's highlighting their demandingness. And keep that in mind when we listen to the next piece, the next person who's going to whine about how they're so alone after getting rid of her husband.
I'm going to share something that will probably shock you. It shocked me when I first found out about it. So after experiencing the coaching of men and women, and when I talked to many divorced men and women, and when I would ask them, why are you divorced? Why was there frustration? Why the breakdown? Men would say that She complained about him not doing this, not doing that, not doing enough, never enough. When I asked her, she would say virtually the same thing. He's not doing this, he's not doing that. So men never complained about her not doing. Women do. And it upset them that she was upset about his not doing. So my final analysis of this is men want their woman to be, and women need their man to do.
She thought she just said something deep with that silly final analysis. What does that mean? Men just want women to be? No, women just want to be and be taken care of and think that they're owed the world just because they exist. What men want is women to stop nagging them about all their petty trifles that they come up with, which is what the true conclusion of this is. But she said she was shocked to find this out, that both men and women want to leave the relationship because of women nagging men about what they're not doing and nothing ever being enough. And that's the true item right there, that nothing is ever enough for these self-centered modern women who think the world is supposed to revolve around them. And she says that's shocking. This is the least shocking thing I've ever heard in my life, lady. You didn't come to a new revelation to find out that modern women are self-centered and self-entitled and want men to do everything and give them everything in exchange for little or nothing. It's the least shocking thing I've ever heard. Keeping that in mind, listen to this woman's entitlement as she talks about how her ex-husband, who she threw away, isn't there for her in her time of need now that she's lonely and by herself doing living alone diaries.
So I got sick. I got sick really fast and really bad. I thought it was COVID. I don't know. I was just feeling awful. And I realized for the very first time that I didn't have anybody to take care of me and that I was all on my own. And it was a very, very hopeless, helpless feeling. It brought up a lot of really bad feelings about my ex-husband and just feeling like, why isn't he here? Like, why isn't he taking care of me?
Because you threw him away, lady. Oh my goodness. Oh, they dispose of men at their whim because of how they feel, and they have to go and find themselves, and they have to go on their journey and graduate from their marriage because the marriage doesn't serve them. And then when they have a need, they want the man they threw away to come back and be of service to her when she feels no need to be of service to him. She got rid of the man, and she's wondering, why isn't he here for me? The entitlement is insane. Again, they want you to do for them just because they exist. You are not his wife anymore, lady.
Like, his actions have caused me even more pain now, because now not only is he like gone because he like made bad decisions, but now like I'm also affected because I need someone here and he's not here. So
Unbelievable. I'm mad at him because he's not here because I threw him away. It's always about what men must do for women while they offer nothing in return. He's supposed to come be your caretaker in exchange for you not being his wife. Insane. This is why we should not feel sorry for these women, these entitled women's sob story.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't want to go on a hike by myself right now. I feel like I want to be on a hike with somebody. I want to have like a friend or family member or a significant other to go on a hike with. I want that, but I know I need to go by myself. It just really sucks. I want more than anything to go with someone. That is what I want. But I need to be able to be alone. It's so unhealthy that I feel like I cannot be alone with myself and cannot go out and be like, and go out. Like, the thing is, I know I can go out and have like, and go be by myself. That's not the, I've proven that to myself. It's the going out and having fun.
Just pathetic. And men, this is why you have such the upper hand. Men's lives are lives of we're used to constantly be by ourselves. That's a regular thing for most in most cases. Some guys live in a fashion where they have lots of roommates and they're always in certain circles or always moving with the action. But for the most part, men spend significant portions of their life uh, in solitude, developing themselves, learning themselves, and again, just developing yourself and handling life and being productive in solitude. And a lot of us actually enjoy it to a
That
large
is what we're
degree.
working on. Because
And these women, they just break down over it. That's why you have the upper hand. They need you despite their, I don't need no man. And you don't really need them because you can exist day to day without having to have somebody there to support you and take care of you and validate your feelings. Now for the coup d'etat of the video, the other side of it. Most women are lonely and hurt. And they're angry and they're breaking down and they're mad that the man won't still be there for them even after she's thrown them away. On the other hand, we have Jada Pinkett, who we demonstrated in the last video. If you even look at the thumbnail, I pointed out how she's smiling, talking about being separated from her husband for 7 years. And she's just all happy about it with that big smirk on her face in the video. And here you're seeing how happy she is talking about her true love, one Tupacalypse Shakur. This man has been dead for 27 years. But let's hear what she still is talking about. I told you again about how her 13-year-old daughter is writing letters about how her daddy can't satisfy her mom because she has made it so clear throughout all these years. Willow wasn't even alive when Tupac died. But she knows that's the real man who makes her happy and not her own father, who is the husband. So 27 years later, let's hear about Pac.
Of soulmate. Yeah. But yeah, you know, definitely. I don't think if there is such a thing as past lives, I definitely think Pac and I have traveled a few together, you know, in various forms. So
has there ever been a time that you regretted the decision that you made not to take it to that level with him and to keep it in the friendship space?
It just wasn't possible. There was no chemistry between us. You know, I talk about it in the book. You know,
that's so hard. I know, but it's just so hard to imagine.
So there's no chemistry with him, but she's still alpha widowed over this guy, still talking about him 27 years after he's dead. 28 years since she started dating Will Smith, approximately 28, 29 years. And all through this time, she's carrying an emotional flame for Tupac. So she doesn't have physical chemistry with him, she says, but apparently he's all up in her emotional draws 3 decades later, still, through the whole course of her marriage. And look how glowy and giddy she is to talk about that as she comes out in public again to humiliate Will. We all know the reason why Chris Rock got smacked was because of him right here. Because he saw Jada's face and knew he had to do something to try to prove that he could fill that role of that alpha male thug that she wants and needs and who's always on her heart, which is Tupac. That's all I got for y'all today. Yabachi 2007. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell to make sure you can come back for more. I'm out.